what's up, y'all? It's Treasur Necole, your favorite Scorpio, and you are now tuned in to another episode of Inside the Chess. You guys, this is the fourth episode, and if you can believe it, the next episode will be halfway through the first season, so it's just so exciting to just be here with you all. And I always ask you guys what's on the table, right? And I always say this and I have to say it every single time because I know we got new listeners and new watchers. I like to treat this as us going out on a date, right? It just being a one-on-one thing, but really it's me talking to you and talking to the people that you share our topics and things with, and just all of us having something in common and being able to just go super deep. Anyway, the song you just heard, the song that you guys just heard in the beginning of the episode is the official theme song for the podcast. And the video is also available, the in-studio performance video, on our Instagrams, on our TikToks. You can look at it at any of our social medias, as well as you can stream it where you listen to your music. And you all have been so supportive of that song, and it's led me to do some new things that you'll see within our commercials. And just if you keep just staying in tune, we're trying to get better every time you get a chance to see that person that you like again, right? You want to make sure that you're better. You want to make sure that you still keep that consistency, so that end up turning to love, right? And then we end up just going into different levels of that. So I'm excited. And what's on the table tonight, guys? This episode is called Truth Is. And as y'all know, I name all of my episodes after R&B titles. So if you know, Truth Is that Fantasia classic. I don't know if y'all go back as far as me as American Idol and all those other competition shows. A lot of those shows I've tried out for, and I've had the experience to be able to audition and just be in that space of all those different shows. X Factor, American Idol, Sunday Best. I mean, seriously, The Voice. I've auditioned for them all. And of course, that's a hidden gem that, of course, we'll talk about as we continue to get to know each other. But just going back for a little bit, I just want to go back on episode 3 for those who haven't watched the previous episodes. We kind of make this like a chain, right? We want you to be able to follow us as we go. So episode 3, we talked about the single ladies. All the single ladies, all the single ladies. Y'all remember. And we talked about the levels of love and things like that. And this episode is going to kind of be an extension of that, right? Because we talked about, the levels of love and in the different languages that we love in. But this episode, I really want to talk about what it takes to decide who we put that time into, right? Because I don't know if you guys have heard the saying, but you hear it a lot, especially within the industry. You hear, oh, you got hoes, or you got you a roster, you got this and you got that. But as common as it may be to have the hoes and a roster, it's just as common to have what they would call a main, or y'all know the terms: the main, the side, the ride or die, whatever it is you want to label whoever it is that plays a role in your life. So this episode is entitled Truth Is, because we are going to unveil our truth, guys. We're going to unveil our truth. And I ain't gonna cry on this one. And I told you I wasn't gonna cry on the last one, and I ain't gonna cry on this one. But we definitely gonna get deep on, just the people, right? The people that we choose, the people that we lose. right? And just like going through a relationship, right? And get into the relationship part, like, because how many times have we been in situations where we're talking to four people, but our hearts is with one person, or our heart is with two people and we're talking to one person? Like, I mean, depending on your situation and what it is that you're in, all of our situations are different. But I kind of want to know you guys because, they're saying 2024 is the year of truth, right? As you can see, it's so many things coming out, just as far as the things that has been done in the past and the people who are involved. And to me, and this is just for me, right? Everybody's seeming like they're so shocked, right? Like, we're shocked because everybody ain't perfect, right? It's like, it's just, and I personally, I'm not shocked. Like, you can never really tell a story of a person just by looking at them. You truly cannot judge a book by the cover, but once you open it and you start to read it, that's when you find out the facts, right? And that's kind of what we're doing every week here. We're opening up a book, we're opening up a chapter to see what our truth is. And with this episode being entitled this, y'all, we're gonna get into it. So I know I gotta engage my chess mates. This is the time. I definitely want to know what it is that you like. Let's start off light. We're gonna start off light because it's a heavy topic. But what do my listeners, what do my watchers like? And when I say, what do you like? What's your preference? What's your preference in the gender that you talk to? What is your, because we have so many different varieties of people in the world now, and it's so many people identifying as whoever it is they feel to be true to. So I definitely want to know where y'all at with it. And while you guys are commenting and while you guys are telling me and engaging, I want to take this time to share my personal story because I'm in front of you every week, right? And there are still questions that I have yet to answer, and I really hope through the many seasons that we have doing this podcast is that all your questions be answered, right? And maybe I can answer some questions of my own about myself, and about who I am, because you guys make me comfortable to talk to you about myself just as I hope to make you comfortable to talk to me about you. I can start from just personally. As a kid, I would always play that game. I don't know if you guys remember the game MASH. And it was like when you put like the names on like the notebook, right? And you kind of cross the names out as you go. And I know I'm explaining this wrong. I haven't played this game literally since I was in elementary school. But the gesture of the game is to have these options, and you as the game goes on, you're crossing certain options out, and you're only left with one option in that category, right? And when I think about life, and I think about attraction, and I think about energies that we decide to entertain and deal with, I start to realize that it's not just man and woman, right? There's I know within my listeners and within my watchers, I have a heterosexual community. I also know that I may have listeners of the LGBTQ community, and I want to reach out to everybody, right? And I want to be able to relate, right? And lucky for you, I can relate. Because growing up, like I told you guys, and we gonna get so deep into this, but I felt like when I was a kid, I was doing what the kids do. And don't act like I'm the only one that's doing this when I say this, right? I remember like my first kiss was I think it was. So, oh my God, I'm gonna literally hit myself if I don't remember. I think my first kiss was in second grade, if I'm not mistaken, which is like, whoa, super young, right? And I used to go to a Catholic school at that time, which is crazy. And that's kind of just gonna tie into everything now that I'm speaking. And y'all, if I can be honest, I think it might have been. We'll just say it was second grade, right? We'll say it was second grade. I think it was second grade. But and of course it was with some ugly boy that I saw in Walmart 17 years later who had to pick his fucking job off the floor, right? For obvious reasons. But when you're a kid, you just kind of mimic what you see, whether it's in your household, on your TV, and things like that. And I know going into high school, fast forwarding super fast from being a kid, my first kiss being in second grade, and then going into elementary school and middle school, and kind of traveling over into high school, where usually between like that middle and high school is where you kind of find out what it is that you really like, you know. And I know going into high school all the way up to my junior year, that's when kind of my trajectory changed and I began to talk to women, right? And I can't even say I started junior year, right? I kind of think, I think my first crush, I think my first girl crush, it had to be when I was a sophomore in high school, maybe I was 15, 16, not sure. And I don't think I ever fully entertained the idea probably until I was 17, 18, if I'm not mistaken. And I know it's going to be somebody from high school, middle school, elementary. No, it was this day. Okay, if you know, drop it. You know, we inside the chest. We ain't scared of no facts. We can fact check. It ain't no problem. But no, seriously, y'all. And going into my adulthood, fast forwarding to now, you know, when you identify that exploration of your life, you decide whether you want that to be a phase or a lifestyle, right? And that's going past high school and college and like that weird in between stage after college, and you know, really finding yourself in that what they call super grown up, which is when you get to that dirty 30. And that's where I'm at right now, y'all. I'm at the dirty 30. But I'm trying to make this the cleanest dirty 30 you ever seen, right? I really am. But going into that, just into my adulthood speaking now, I know that that part of my life has carried on all the way up to now, right? And so you think about the different experiences that you have, whether it's just with men or just with women, or if it's with both, or if it's with nobody at all. And you just think about what it requires for somebody to get you to tell your truth, because you ain't telling that kind of truth to everybody. You know, it's people that's going to watch this. It's family members that are going to watch this episode and hear that for the first time, right? And so, like I told you guys, it's not just you revealing yourself or me trying to push you or make you reveal yourself. It's me jumping off that ledge, right? And really just kind of making myself an open book to make this exactly what I know it's going to be, which is the fucking best podcast on earth, right? I believe that 100%. Yeah. And so I kind of want to know, guys, when it comes to your truth, who you truly are, what it takes to truly know you. The first person that you even told your truth to, does that first person always, and maybe it's not the first person, because sometimes the first person that we love don't always know our full truth, right? And then later on down the line, when we become more confident in ourselves, is when we start to be more honest with the people that we with. So I'll reword that and say, when you look at your past, or you look at the people that you've allowed into your life, and you look at who you're still in love with, who you always love, and some people we dealt with, we hate, right? I know I personally don't hate anybody that I have ever dealt with, because they have all been a component in my character, right? But I know that I'm not everybody, right? And so it may be some people out there that look at their past and say, oh, I hate that person, or I'll always love that person, or I'm still in love with that person, right? And I want to know, if you had a chance to tell your truth, or maybe add to the truth that you told somebody that may be in one of those different categories. I want to know, like, do you think maybe that this episode is a sign to do so, right? Because I don't just want to impact you guys with these different topics just while we're here. Like, you may leave this episode and be like, damn, I might need to go talk to someone, or I may need to go, kind of heal that part of me, because this is a healing podcast, right? I want us to come out of here, and sometimes in order to put it back together, we got to break it up. So that's what we're doing, y'all. And speaking of breaks, when we come back, we're going to really break down on, y'all know we got to talk about the music and the spirituality. Y'all know I got to go there, right?
Like here, subscribe here, comment your life here, stream here, cry here, know I'll be right here.
Mates, if you want to hear your song in the background as we're holding this conversation, or if you have any content that you want to run as a promotional ad, I would love to collaborate in that way. You guys email me your work, whether it is your beats, your commercial, or whatever it is that you're doing, because I know if we collaborate in that way, that's going to really make the word spread, right? So back to the topic, we are diving into our truth. Now, I just gave y'all a little bit of my truth. Now, some people be like, I knew it, or I had the feeling. You ain't know shit. You only know because I just told you, right? So here's the thing. Now that we are getting to know what it is that we like, because we can't continue to go on these dates without knowing what it is that we're attracted to and what it is that we attract, right? I know I'm really big on energy, to the point where you can be in my presence and I can know whether, just off bat, whether it's going to be a connection or not, right? It's just something that comes with the recipe of the oral, whatever it is that you want to call it, right? But I do want to touch on us going back to our truth. Now, as easy as I made it look about that truth I just told y'all, that was hard as hell. Even though I've been confident in myself my whole life, I can truly say that there were parts in my life, because of the arenas that I may have been in, that I may have kept more secretive. Maybe it wasn't because I was ashamed, but because I didn't feel the need to explain, right? And I feel like that's two different things. I definitely know when it comes to the messages in my music and in my poetry and in my visuals, you'll see that truth, right? When you begin to listen and really understand, you'll definitely see that truth. And I can remember a time where somebody said to me that they didn't know what I liked until they listened to my songs, right? Because those things, sometimes we put that alter ego on in that studio, right? So a lot of the things that we say in our tracks and those records, we really ain't vocalizing them like that in our day-to-day conversation. I know I'm that kind of person. And so just going back to our truths, right? My truth, I think, was triggered. And I'll say triggered because I was too young to know it was my truth at the time. But sometimes we are so afraid to go back to see why we desire the things that we desire, or why is it that we attract the things that we attract, right? But I think I kind of took that road, and I want to share it with you guys. So I know at a young age, and I know it's a lot of people that can relate to this, and it's not the most fortunate situation in the world, but there was a time where I did experience a form of molestation within my family, and at the time it was with someone of the same sex as me, right? Now when you're young, you you know that it's wrong, right? You know something about it feels wrong, something about it doesn't feel right. And really that's just the pureness in you. That's just the innocence in your heart kind of ringing the alarm, right? And as you guys know, as I say, I think almost every episode, I was a preacher's kid as well. And there were moments where inside of the church aspect too, where there were certain things that had presented itself in a way that just wasn't. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that my attraction to women now comes from my trauma from my childhood, but I'm also not saying that it's not. I'm also not saying that maybe I had turned my trauma into triumph. Maybe I turned my situation into a strength, right? Something that a lot of people maybe may not do, right? And it gets so deep, you guys, because I wanted to be a million questions about how I'm explaining this, the way I'm explaining this, because it's not the easiest thing to explain, right? What I can say is, being a preacher's kid, right? It goes from the soul ties to wanting to save your soul from those ties, right? Which falls into the whole spirituality aspect of our conversation tonight. When you mix situations that aren't supposed to be happening in certain situations, like there's certain things that aren't supposed to happen in your family. There's certain things that aren't supposed to happen within your church. There's certain things that aren't supposed to happen just with the people that you trust in general, right? But in most cases, it does for men and women, right? But I can only speak upon myself. But when I do speak about myself, I think about my experiences as a young girl, and then the influences that I may have had coming of age. And you mix that with the experiences that you have, and in my case with men and women, and some of them were serious and most of them weren't, right? I you guys rarely see me in short sleeves and things like that. But I will share with you that the moment you do, it's so funny because every time like my arms are shown or whatever, I always tell people, "Oh, that's my past." Right? I used to have a bad habit of saying, "Oh, that's my past," because people look at the things that you have on you. Maybe it's your tattoos, or maybe it's even certain piercings or things like that, and they automatically put like a judgment on you of what you may like or what your truth is, right? But they really don't know shit, which is what I mentioned earlier. But this is why we're here, right? So back to our truth and just saying what our truth is. I don't know, guys, what my future looks like as far as love is concerned in the next 10 years. I know that I can sit here and I can name drop. I can name drop and say, I'll always love this person. I'm still in love with this person. Or I may not ever see this person again, or whatever the case may be. I can go down that line. But sitting here in front of you now, I can't say that when it comes to my truth, if I've totally ever told anybody I was with my whole entire truth until now, as these episodes unveil. So that's why this place is so special to me, because yeah, it's me looking into a camera, but essentially it's me talking to you, your friends, and whoever it is that you share your truth with, right? So chess mates, this is what I want to know. When it comes to everything that we put on the table, right? Who's coming to dinner? I just made that up, y'all. I made that up actually a couple days ago when I was kind of doing the outline of what we were going to kind of talk about. And when I say who's coming to dinner, I'm asking you, who's going to be there when you tell your truth? Is this where you're going to tell it? In our comments, through our DMs, through our emails, which I want to remind you guys, when you guys do share certain moments with me, you can make yourself, you can let me know if you want to be anonymous, right? Because I can share your ideas and you can say, hey, I really don't want the public to know that it was me saying this, and I get that. So I just want to bring that disclosure, something I just thought about. But I definitely want to know, guys, like, who's going to be there when you tell your truth? Or have you met that person that you're going to tell your truth to, right? Because the truth is, you cannot fully love someone unless you are 100% honest with them, unless you are 100% honest with yourself. And so I want this to be the start, like I was telling you guys. And when we come from this last break, because I want to give y'all a chance to go to the bathroom, get you some snacks, whatever it is you do on your break, right? Yo, what's up, chess mates? Listen, I need you guys to DM me. DM me questions about relationships, DM me questions about spirituality, religion, music, and see if you get your question read on the next episode on Inside the Chess Podcast.
Like here, subscribe here, comment your life here, stream here, cry here, know I'll be right here.
Right? How y'all like that? How did you guys like that? Seriously, because if you did like that, that is going to be on my newest project, Girl's Best Friend. It is a compilation of R&B, pop, soul, and it's so dear to me because it's going outside of my comfort zone. You know, when you're boxed into the genre of R&B, people just want you to sing slow, or they want you to, you know, just sing about blah blah, whatever they expecting you to sing about. But R&B has so many different facets. That's why your greatest R&B singers, when you think, I mean, truly, when I think of Whitney Houston, when I think of Michael Jackson, when I think of Beyonce, when I think of Anita Baker, who was truly R&B, when I think of Aaliyah, they were all infused with more than just that. And so that's what Girl's Best Friend is going to give you. And I'm just, on top of the remixes, guys, and the original music and the theme song, I just want to saturate us with artistry. And all facets of me as well. And I just came up with this just now, believe it or not. As you guys listen to this stuff, I want you guys to let me know if it was flame or if it was lame. I want you to put those fire emojis in there. I want you to put the emoji where the girl got like that X in front of her. I want you guys to let me know, or thumbs down, whatever it is that you use. But I know it ain't gonna never be this, so don't even play with me right now. But I want you guys to tell me what you think, because I not only want to know what you want to talk about, I want to know what you what you listen to, what you go to the gym to, what's your playlist? Let me know. I want to be on your playlist. Can I be on your playlist? So that's how we're gonna do it. I I'm so happy that you guys made it safe for me to tell my truth. And there's so many ways to be a part of this community, guys. Everybody, I literally want this to be one of those things where, y'all know those old movies where you go outside and the neighbor waves hi, and he says hi to the milkman and the mailman and the ice cream truck. We're gonna be that. We're gonna bring that back, y'all. We're gonna bring back that unity. And I'm just gonna manifest this here right now. After a couple of seasons of this show, we're gonna be winning awards. We're gonna be talking about how we were sitting just here, just now, doing this and moving to infinity and beyond. So this is the fourth date, guys. And what do you usually do on your fourth date? What do you usually do the fourth time you link up with somebody? You ain't gotta say it right here, but just to let you know, this is our fourth date. So um, I'm assuming that we already put the key in the door and we about to pick a movie or something. And you thinking about if you want to spend the night, you thinking about if you wanna chill, but whatever it is that, whatever stage that we're at, let's just continue to feel comfortable with each other. And I ain't cried this week, so talk your shit next week, cause ain't no tears this week, right? Even though we definitely went deep, as we always do, inside the chest, y'all.